Sup, everybody. Oh, oh, the throat. There's phlegms in my throat. It's hot. It's moisty. It's difficult to breathe. I'm talking about the weather conditions. What's up? Oh my goodness. Less than a week, right? Less than a week to go. Less than a week, and we're gonna get Yoimiya. There's a lot of things that can happen in this next week, and I already see some of you guys talking about this in the chat right here. You can actually see yourselves as well, off to the side or here, right here, somewhere. But yeah, right. Condolences to Yoimiya. It's really a shame that I mean, if you guys just take the amount of hype that was there during her initial tease in the patch 2.0 preview live stream, right? Versus now, after everybody has seen that Bao is gonna come out, it's pretty easy to see the difference. It's literally day and night. It was like 50-50. I even think at some points I saw Yoimiya winning out. I think it was like 57 to 43 or something like that, right? With Yoimiya being preferred over Ayaka. And now the reality is, Ayaka likely there will be more people who will own Ayakas than there are who will own Yoimiyas. Yeah, if you guys didn't know, I made a video today talking about all this stuff. So today, I'm just here to, I guess, more. I don't know, how should I put this? A live discussion, right? A live discussion, I feel like it's more transparent. You really get to understand what everybody thinks, and you can have all your inputs, right? My goal here today is to read through comments if you guys have specific concerns, questions, why I said some of the things I said. If you disagree with some things I said, I'd love to hear it as well. I'm not just here to, give myself a little ego boost. I don't think that's healthy for what we're doing on this platform, especially on this channel. So please, let's hear it. What do you guys think about Yoimiya? I think at this point, everybody has played through her story, right? You guys should have all played through her story. You guys know how she plays. Yes, Mihoyo also did her dirty with the 4-piece noblesse set, right? So I saw some people were talking about that as well. So of course it wasn't a fair comparison, but we can always scale things up. Just imagine what would happen if you gave her the Shiminara set, the new set, or if you gave her the Crimson Witch set, right? I mean, it's gonna be good, but it won't be amazing, in my opinion. So she not only suffers from all the problems that I mentioned in the video earlier today, but of course, she also suffers from just being an average character. She's good, she's acceptable, right? But comparatively to what we've gotten, she's just all right. Right, so John is saying Yoimiya has same situation like Albedo. She's kind of like the Pyro Albedo of Inazuma. Can we... The Pyro Albedo of Inazuma essentially is her treatment right now. Being wedged between an Archon and another pretty popular character. I mean, Ayaka's popularity does not come from her performance, rather than a year's long worth of built up hype. I mean, I'm not saying everyone's skipping Yoimiya. A lot of people want Yoimiya. Don't get me wrong, but it's just Yoimiya in her current state, with what players have played with her. People are like, okay, she's all right, but is she worth skipping Bao over for? If you're, let's say, if you're a beginner or midway through your game right now, right? Oh, wait. There's story time. Okay, so chat. Remember last week I told you I was headed to a party. Well, not a party, like a friend's birthday party. No. Yes, friend's birthday party. So in the end, I guess it is a party. There were around 6-7 people. I think 7 people there. Something like that. And remember, I told you guys, somebody there knew me not through, my friends, but knew me through my YouTube. He was a cool guy. We were at his place. We sat down. We talked about Genshin. He's kind of a newer player. He's an AR-45. And through him, there was another guy there who was like very new. He was AR-35, and they were really new. And I was able to talk to these newer players of the game about their experience regarding Genshin Impact, how they feel about the game. And literally, I'm no cap. I pretty much did a full-on interview for an hour with them. Yes, we were there to celebrate someone else's birthday, but the three of us were just talking about Genshin Impact for like half the party. Yeah, it sounds cringe, but hey, gotta do what you gotta do, alright? Let me tell you guys, I have never, I mean, not never, but I rarely have friends who will play the game that I want to play and willingly sit to talk with me about it. So literally the three of us were just at the party banging out Genshin theories and talking about the Genshin experience, prediction for the future, and dude, it was so crazy because there's one guy who literally just started the game a week ago. There's a guy who started the game like 2 months ago, and then there's me who's been playing since last September, since last year. So I was asking them about their Genshin Impact experience. Okay, so here's the thing, right? My current Genshin experience actually varies greatly compared to theirs, especially the guy who just started. Holy smokes. I think he's at the current stage of the game where he doesn't even know what to really do with a lot of his resin. What's the best and most optimal way to progress through the game? So it was really an eye-opening experience to talk to these people. And yeah, just like Jone V2 is saying, too much content for him. Exactly. We used to think that, MiHoYo takes away all this content once the thing is over. But let me tell you, this man was completely overwhelmed. He had no idea what to do, how the banners work, which banner to save for, which character is good, how to build certain characters, how to spend his resin. It was insane. Alright, so the party was great. I met both of them. I'll talk more about their free-to-play experiences. Both of them are completely free-to-play, and I did talk a little bit about certain characters, what they could work towards. But yeah, maybe in the future they will feel comfortable enough to come on and talk in front of you guys. Maybe. Who knows? Who knows? All right. But yeah, the guy was really into Genshin Impact, and it warmed my heart to see that, to know the game is still alive and how we were essentially able to bond over the game. Amazing experience. If anybody who has friends who are really passionate about something they do, Genshin Impact, man. That was one hell of an experience I did not think I was going to go through when I initially picked up the game. So, anyways, let's talk about Yoimiya. Alright? So Skylar Sue is asking, did you talk about Yoimiya yet? Nope, I was just giving a story time for everybody to get settled in, because the live stream just started like 5-6 minutes ago. I was just sharing a story time. So, okay, so there's more people here now. We can essentially start the discussion. The goal here today, everybody, is I want to hear your opinion. I value your opinions. I keep saying this. I enjoy the back and forth. It doesn't all have to be positives. If you have something that you think that disagrees with what I said in my videos regarding why I think Yoimiya, the people will be skipping Yoimiya, or why Yoimiya likely, is just not as good, because the standard has been set, right? I'm not saying she's bad. I'm saying she's not going to be as good as somebody like Hu Tao. Maybe she'll work it towards a different direction. Hu Tao is like a single target DPS, right, with a little bit of burst mixed in. Yoimiya might be a consistent DPS, also consistent AoE DPS, or whatever, or single target, or machine gun, or whatever, with a little bit of burst mixed in. Now, how can you not compare these two if their kids have so much similarities in them? And look, Blank Canvas is saying, Yoimiya seems worse than Xiangling. Now, here's the thing. I feel like, damage-wise, it's hard for her to be worse than Xiangling, but when it comes to certain aspect of gameplay, for example, pyro consistency, applying pyro on enemies, I don't think anyone's gonna have Xiangling beat. I just don't. Xiangling is too perfect, too well designed at what she does, which is pyro application. She's too damn good at it. All right, too damn good. So Huanglei saying, I wish they still do the one new unit banner, one rerun, so people have an easier time to pick and choose and still have enough interest to keep playing. Huanglei, exactly. I understand, right? It's right now the free-to-play players are in a really big pickle. They're in a really difficult position because there's just not enough resources. There's no way you can have enough resources to pull for these characters. And to be completely honest with you guys, I think miHoYo would much prefer this way rather than the rerun. Because realistically speaking, this way generates more hype, this way generates more demand, this way puts people in a position to make impulsive decisions and purchases, which likely will haunt you going forward. And let me tell you, I don't remember where I saw this, but I remember seeing comments or discussion posts talking about how a lot of people have, not just themselves, but have friends as well, pull for certain characters back like last year during the double banners, where they don't even play the characters anymore. They just have these 5-star characters that they pulled for during those, insanely hype banners, and then they never use them anymore. It's very common. I swear, some people in chat right now may have done this themselves. If you played the game long enough back then, you may have gotten caught into the hype, pulled for certain characters, and then nowadays you don't use them as much, if at all. I certainly can say that for myself. I do it. I did it. But I admit that I am a collector. I don't pull for these characters to essentially build rosters around them. I could, but I don't because I have preferences. Everyone has preferences. There's only so many slots in the team, so much resources you can pour into a team of characters. Just realistically, you can't be playing them all. And then comes the question, is Yoimiya going to be that character that you put at the forefront of your roster, or is she somebody who you're just like, everybody else is talking about Yoimiya, let's just try to get in and see what she's all about? Which one are you? Right? Or are you really in need of a pyro DPS? You don't have Hu Tao, you never got Klee, and you still haven't got D-Look. Your Yanfei is at C0, and your Amber is you love Amber, but you find she's struggling with a lot of the end game content, especially during events as well. Hey, welcome to the land of Yoimiya, where perfect choice for you, right? That is somebody who essentially would need and would prefer to have Yoimiya. It's an upgrade. For most, I guarantee you, for most people watching right now, you don't need Yoimiya. You won't. You don't need her. You don't need her. You want her. You want her. You wish you could have her, but you don't really need her. But sometimes, wanting is better than needing. All right. It doesn't really matter if you enjoy it doesn't matter if something brings you immense benefits if you don't enjoy the process of either working with them or using it. So 2chan is asking, what do you think are the odds are that miHoYo buffs Yoimiya the day she is released like they did with Ganyu? Okay, here's the thing. I think you're talking about the last minute changes to Ganyu's kit where her burst skill became permanent, right? 100% uptime. I think it's unlikely. Oh, Braxophone! Yo, hold up, chat. Brax, are you willing to jump in a call? Are you free? Are you streaming, my dude? Yo, alright, chat. If you guys didn't know, this right here is the biggest Yoimiya, not only simp, but master to be. Listen, chat. Brax, if you guys are Yoimiya Sims, Brax has a world of Yoimiya knowledge ready to drop on you guys. So Brax is gonna be really, really good. So in about 15 minutes, and yeah, Brax, in about 15 minutes, just let me know. Actually, I'll have you open here on Discord, so I don't miss your message. Yeah. So chat, we can talk with Braxophone. We're gonna have a discussion with the master, the man himself, regarding Yoimiya, her current predicament. I'm sorry, Brax. We're not. I swear, I'm not on purposely trying to shit on her. I'm just talking about certain issues that that she has with decisions. Essentially, Mihoyo has put her in this situation. Now, what I think that about her power level is, I think she's gonna be fine. I think she should perform better than Ayaka. Yeah, Yoimiya should have better DPS than Ayaka. She's a pyro character. Listen, chat. She's a pyro character. She should. She should. All right. She doesn't suffer from reverse melt. So essentially, I actually think that she might make a good DPS along with Ayaka. I think so too. Now, of course, characters such as Xingqiu, which I've already seen, people are like, Xingqiu most likely will be on her banner. How can Xingqiu not be on her banner? Xingqiu is going to be one of the best characters, best support DPS to pair with Yoimiya. Will she be good with Ganyu? Yes! Skylar, alright, my man knows what questions to ask. Yes, Yoimiya. Personally, I think Yoimiya would work really good with Hu Tao. What am I saying? Yoimiya will work really well with Ganyu, just like how Ganyu works really well with Hu Tao. If you guys watch my videos, you should have seen some, a lot of the footage I use recently. I'm using Ganyu as a support for my Hu Tao. And it does so well because of the consistency of Ganyu's cryo application, along with Hu Tao's on-demand pyro proc, right? You just proc melt over and over and over. You get like 50k crits in the abyss. It's insane. It's insane. And my Hu Tao is at C1, so there's not even any bonus benefits. It's literally just a reaction with Ganyu, the consistency of the reaction, alright? Will Yoimiya work with Albedo? Here's the thing with bow users and Albedo, right? When you proc the effect, the crystallize applies at the point of the enemy. Yoimiya's Huanglei coming in with the 299 says Yoimiya's E in the middle of Ganyu's ult. That's a chef's kiss. That is a chef's kiss. There's a lot of great synergies that so this, it's more about Ganyu than it is about Yoimiya. You guys know that, right? This is more about Ganyu being essentially Ganyu than it is about Yoimiya. It's just, yes, they're gonna make a great combo. It's like it's pretty clear to see that that combo is gonna work out really, really well. Atago says hi, welcome. Brian Akabado is saying Yoimiya, Electro MC, Beidou, Sayu, good. So here's the thing, I don't know about Sayu's kit. I know about Yoimiya's kit because we were able to play her through the story, and I've seen a lot of people talk about it. So I know Yoimiya's kit, I know the Electro MC kit, I know Beidou, but I don't know Sayu. Sayu is what? She's an Anemo, right? So here's the thing, Yoimiya along with Electro MC Beidou, so you're essentially going for a overload, right? And overload with Yoimiya is probably one of the only reasonable ways to play Yoimiya. Hear me out, chat. Listen. Because overload hits monsters away, right? It hits monsters away. Well, Yoimiya doesn't have that problem of chasing after monsters. She's a bow user. She'll just continue hitting. She'll just continue shooting. It doesn't matter if they're like that far away, unless they're like 2 screens away, then yeah. But for the most part, you're not going to feel the effects of overload as badly as if you're using like Kaching, Beidou, or who else. Now the problem with that team is Electro application. So instead of Beidou or Electro MC, I would prefer to put Fischl in that team. The reason being is just because of the consistency of Electro application, right? With Yoimiya overload, especially if you're fighting bosses, you need constant Electro to be applied on the enemy. And while Beidou's burst skill does that, Electro MC seems to be kind of counterintuitive for Electro application. He or she serves a different purpose in your team oftentimes, rather than Electro application. Sayu, I don't know. I would put Sayu, like right now I don't know about Sayu, so I would prefer to have someone like Venti, Kazuha, Sucrose, maybe Jean. If you really need a healer, if everybody's like cracked out to the max, like C6, yeah, you probably won't need a healer for that team regardless. Even if you have Beidou's shield, unless she's really stacked out, it's going to be really difficult to have that shield be consistently up, if that makes any sense. Okay. Yoimiya official Beidou child. Man, if that child is swapped for Ganyu, that team would be so freaking broken. Would it be broken? No. No. Yes. Yes, it will. It'd be a pretty solid team. The thing with Child is you have too many DPS on your team. Like, if you're using Yoimiya, Official, Beidou, and Child, like, Child demands field time, right? Beidou demands some field time. Yoimiya absolutely demands field time. You have too many characters that are going to be fighting for very limited field time. Huanglei says it's about Ganyu again. What can I say? She's the GOAT. She's the GOAT. Is Yoimiya good with Child? Okay, here's the thing, right? If I recall correctly, Yoimiya's marks are applied on the enemies, and they don't proc until a second damage source procs them. So, I don't think there is pyro applied as much as there is a mark. And then once you activate that mark through a second source of damage, then pyro is applied. So that means you not only have to attack the enemies once, then the pyro is applied, then you have to attack them again. If I recall correctly. So I think there is definitely potential. I think there is potential, but I don't know how good the combo is gonna be. So, okay, so with Yoimiya, right? I think people most likely who skip her should, like, I'm starting with my words because there's so much to talk about when it comes to Yoimiya that there's definitely things Mihoyo can do last minute that can change all of this around. She literally could become Ganyu 2.0. She could with certain changes to her kit. So yeah, Huanglei says, I feel like since someone mentioned that beta tester had a hard time with her, Mihoyo will definitely fix her kit prior to her banner. Exactly, right? That's why we have beta testers. That's why we have this feedback for Mihoyo. I do think that people tend to jump the gun too often. I don't know how many people play games with where character updates are very common, such as League of Legends, such as, you know, Apex Legends, such as, you know, all of these big ongoing games where character balancing is very important and common. Because I've been playing these games since like 10 years ago. I've been playing these games for 10 years, going through many different iterations of character changes. And I know Genshin Impact has no character changes, but just understand that when a new character comes out, most often than not, people think they're weak, or most often than not, people think they are underwhelming, is because players haven't figured out the right way of using them. My case in point being Bennett. Bennett was never buffed or nerfed along with Xingqiu. Bennett and Xingqiu at the initial release of the game were doo-doo. They were doo-doo. They were doo-doo water, alright? Stinky, stinky. People wrote them off immediately, but it wasn't until they understood exactly how their kits worked and understood in-game synergies that they started becoming valued by the community. Now, till this day, I still... Gib, what's up? Yo, what's the content creators? Okay, I swear. Gib, if you are a Yoimiya, you know, lover, I'm not talking down on her. We had Brax came in earlier, and had the man himself come in. Mr. Yoimiya Simp 101 came in, and I was dripping in sweat. Let me tell you, it wasn't because of the temperature. What's good, Gib? I'm just having a discussion with chat here, talking about Yoimiya. So, yeah. I'm about to jump in a call with Brax later, talking about Yoimiya. We're talking both about her banner placement causing issues, along with what's that? Oh yeah, the fact that she's pyro and that there's just too many good pyro characters like Jin Yan, right, Gib? Like Jin Yan. Oh boy, 6SS character. Oh, best pyro character ever. Chad, if you don't know, Gib is a huge Jin Yan player. So guys, if you see Gib here, we praise Jin Yan. Never tell him never tell him the fact that I exclude Jin Yan from tier lists and pyro discussions. But yeah, Jin Yan, really good. So there's a lot of good pyro characters, and Yoimiya definitely suffers from oversaturation. Oversaturation, yeah. Jailton Jr. says Jinya player, respect. That's right, better put some respect on them Jinyan players. They're a rare breed of players, for sure. Alright, for sure. So yeah, if you guys want to see some peak Jinyan gameplay, Gib is the man to be at. If you guys want to see some peak Yoimiya gameplay, you know Braxophone is going to be the man to look forward to. Alright, the man literally is about to sell everything he's worth to make sure Yoimiya is coming home fully loaded, if you guys what I mean. All right, fully loaded. So, yeah. The talkative foe says, stream lagging so hard, wish I was running on first world Wi-Fi. Kind of like I wish they better kitted Yoi. I mean, if we're talking about hotfixes, there's definitely certain things they could do, but I don't believe they're going to tweak her numbers too much, right? Understand that I don't think, till this day, I strongly believe miHoYo did not think Ganyu was going to end up like she is. I don't think miHoYo truly understood what they were doing when they tuned her charge attack numbers. They did not. The whole reason they buffed her burst skill right before she was out was because they wanted her to have something that only she had. They wanted her to be special. And 100% cryo AoE burst is special. They just didn't know that, holy smoke balls, that her numbers would have scaled to such insanely disgusting degrees of broken. And understanding that, I do feel like going forward, there won't be another character like Ganyu. miHoYo is going to be very, very careful with how they tune certain characters to make sure they don't simply... So, just to make sure that when one player gets one character, they don't immediately just beat the game for the next 4 years, 5 years, 6 years even, right? I still think Ganyu is going to be a top tier character, even like in Snezhnaya. Okay, maybe not Snezhnaya, because the entire region is going to be cryo, and it's going to be cryo resisting. But up until Snezhnaya, Ganyu is going to be a top tier choice. Mohammed Hayek is saying Eula not broken. I don't think Eula is broken. I really don't. I think Eula is a great character, sits in a really good spot, offering a very particular playstyle and niche, and while also delivering great endgame levels of damage. Oh, Braxophone is on, Chad. Braxophone is on. Let's listen. Let's jump in a call with Mr. Brax and see what he has to say. What he has to say regarding Yoimiya. One moment, let me unmute Discord so you guys can hear him. Let's call him. All right, the man himself. Hello.
Right. I hate to mute your stream now. Oh my gosh.
All right, no problem. We got Braxophone here now. All right, chat. This is exciting stuff. All right, I'm sweating. This man. This man knows everything about Yoimiya. All right, I'm about to look like a pleb right here.
I know, that's why. Like, I watched your video on why people are skipping her, and like, I feel like for the most part, like you kind of hit the. Is it the nail on the head or is it the hammer on the nail? I don't know. You were pretty spot on about like, oh yeah, they put ball right after her. So like anyone who's free to play is gonna either be saving for like ball, in my opinion, or they're gonna be saving for like Ganyu rerun, which it has to come soon, right? Like at some point.
Yeah, and I think when a lot of people just, I mean, as a content creator, a lot of people just watch the first half, they don't watch the second half. So like the second half, I talk about people are skipping Yoimiya not because she's weak, right? Not because she's bad, not because she's not going to do any damage, but also she suffers from another big problem, which is saturation and pyro DPS. Like that's a huge thing, right? So, and of course, Electro also being like the exact opposite. It's so damn rare. We haven't got one for almost a year now, right? Since Kaching, which, well, she came out with the game. So with that on the line as well, a lot of people are just curious and really excited to see what's going to happen with these Electro characters, and not to mention Bao's and Archon. And the real nail in the coffin, like I still think there's a couple nails missing in her coffin, but the real nail in the coffin is if during the 2.1 live stream they announce Electro buffs. That would be a huge kick in the nuts. Like I've made videos talking about whether I think Electro changes, buffs, whatever are coming, and that's gonna heavily affect how many people just finally sways over one side or the other. What do you think about that?
Could you repeat that last part? Sorry, you were lagging on my end.
Oh yeah, I was just saying. What do you think regarding if Electro changes were to be announced in the patch 2.1 live stream? How do you think that would continue to sway people either one way or the other? Because I already think Bao, right? We've done polls on the channels, and Bao's like winning 70 to 80% of all polls. Like literally, you can just have no context and just put Bao in there. People will be like, Bao, of course, Bao.
So I feel like, first of all, I feel like Electro buffs, if they were to happen, would break the video game. And the reason I say that is because I think that most Electro characters, the only reason they're not comparable to Pyro DPS is because Pyro has like a 2 times multiplier, or a 1.5 times multiplier if you're using Xingqiu. But I think that's like honestly a lot of the reason why like the characters' kits all have like incredibly high multipliers for Electro. And when you look at characters like Fischl, for example, Fischl's a really good example because she's meant to be an off-field Electro player and like a battery kind of, but she also just does a fuck ton of damage. If they were to buff Electro, the only thing I could think of that would actually be like relatively balanced would be buffing energy recharge, but I don't think we'll need that because if Ball ends up being anything like Electro MC, like that's why she would end up being a must pull, is because Electro MC is already like good in my opinion. Theory crafters will fucking tell you otherwise, but I've had a really positive experience with Electro MC. If Ball is upgraded Electro MC, then like you simply don't need other batteries. Like she'll just be absolutely broken. And I feel like people see, oh, Archon, she's going to be a broken support. MiHoYo's never made a support bad.
That's true. Well, anyways, we went on a little tangent. Now let's go back to your forte, Miss Yoimiya or Mrs. Yoimiya, right? Oh, we don't know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But
the ring on her.
Like let's see what you think regarding Yoimiya's position as a pyro DPS, because we've all played her through her story. How do you feel? Like, what do you think? How do you think she stacks against not only the 5 stars but also Xiangling? If you want to cover on that, right? We got Diluc, Hu Tao, we got Klee, Yanfei, Xiangling, Xinyan, Amber. Yeah. So please, what do you think? How Yoimiya stacks up against those current pyro options?
So I'm in your chat. I'm seeing some people say that like Yoimiya is better than Klee. Unfortunately, I don't think that's going to be the case. So as much as it pains me to say it, I can't necessarily discredit theory crafters that have been going in on this and talking about like 1010, for example, put out a video that really tilted a lot of the community, but it was cold facts. Her multipliers are good, and without Vape, like if you just took every pyro DPS and stacked them against each other, she would be out damaging a lot of other DPS if you don't count AoE. But the problem is that she has that internal cooldown on her autos and on her Q that basically prevents her from being as strong as them. So like even if you're trying to use her for niche for boss content, she's still gonna underperform in terms of like in comparison to Hu Tao, Diluc, and all of them, specifically because she can't access that vaporize. And I think that like that is something that I really hope MiHoYo changes. A lot of people are saying they're not going to change her because she's already in the game, but they always do a patch drop, like it's a mini patch, but they always make you download extra content when they put out a new banner. So I feel like it's something they could do. And I think one of the biggest, sorry, I'm going on a little bit of a tangent here. One of the biggest things that I've noticed is that beta testers are not theory crafters, right? So they're going to try out characters. They're going to say, I like this character, I like this ability, but they're not the ones that are actually making the spreadsheets and things, and they're not the ones that are going to be able to tell MiHoYo directly, this internal cooldown is a problem. I think that if enough people voice their concerns, I think especially if like the China community gets involved, then we may actually see buffs, and I would really like to see that. That being said, if you can 36 star Abyss with Amber, you're gonna be fine with Yoimiya. Like it's not gonna be that bad, and people are kind of over dramatizing it, I think.
All right. So from the sound of it, like because when I saw her gameplay, and I feel like Mihoyo is Mihoyo trying to push her more towards like a supportive role as opposed to a straight up main DPS, right? Or am I tripping here?
Yeah, it's confusing. Because she honestly could be used in either, but I think it would depend on like if they change the ICD or anything. To me, she seemed like a sub DPS or maybe she'd be a main DPS, kind of like Hu Tao, and then like when her cooldown's up, you switch her out, or you use her Q and then switch her out, depending on what artifact set you're running. Shimano was a trap, by the way. So fucking basically, if you decide to use her as that, I think that's like fine. I would love to see her be a pyro support that can be the opposite side of Abyss from Xiangling. But we need the internal cooldown to be fixed on that if she's gonna be comparable.
So currently, we're thinking that Yoimiya's biggest problem is her lack of reaction due to the consistent reaction due to her internal cooldown being locked, right? So
Yeah.
would you say that? So all right, we're about to do a hot take right now. Tier list right now. Where would you plant her, judging from your experience playing her so far, without if they were to hotfix, right, to make that change versus, and of course, if after they make that change, would that position change for you?
I think okay, so right now with the internal cooldown, I am putting her at the top of like B tier or the bottom of A tier, assuming that there's an S tier, right? Because it's like it sucks, but like she's still a very viable and powerful unit. Like she could still do a lot of damage, but if you're comparing her to like the other 5 stars on the roster, that's the biggest problem. It's like again, no vaporize. But if they changed that, I could see her being top of A tier or for boss content, bottom S tier, maybe mid S tier, but again, single target. And the reason that the internal cooldown on her Q bothers me so much is specifically because it's her one AoE ability, right? If you use Sucrose or use Venti and you use her Q, it does AoE damage, and that's fucking awesome. But the fact that you can only vaporize 3 of those maximum without Constellation sucks.
Yeah, it seems like I mean we already have one broken ass 5-star archer, and correct me if I'm wrong. Is Mihoyo a little nervous here, about to touch on another 5-star archer character? They don't want to overdo it, or so maybe they're starting it slow and they'll ease into it. But I really don't think we're gonna get to a point post release to see changes. If there are to be released, maybe just like Ganyu last minute changes.
I think that's a possibility because like the same thing happened with Albedo. I don't know if it's like, is it okay to talk about leaks that happened like way in the past? Like
yeah. I mean,
okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm sure.
So like Albedo was initially like leaked as a bow character, right? And then they just kind of flipped that out of nowhere, and then he came out with a sword. And so same thing kind of happened with Ganyu. I think initially she was meant to be cryo damage scaling, and then she switched to crit damage. I think something like that could happen for her internal cooldown. I don't think it's even something they would need to post in like patch notes or anything because it's only in beta. Well, I guess no, she had the trial, so they'd have to tell us. But I saw Sky. Sorry, I'm watching your chat, so like I can kind of see what people are talking about. So Skylar said, "How are you going to say she's strong but in B tier?" So this is a big problem that I've been talking a lot about on stream actually, and a lot of people are just like, Braxophone copium. But I mean, the thing is like, I have watched people 36-star Abyss with Amber on one side only. So I feel like it is impossible to say a character is weak unless they are literally bottom of the barrel, and you have to make every modification in the game to be able to play them. People saying that she's like the worst 5-star. I'm not going to say the other 5 stars that are worse than her, but because I don't want to piss people off. But she's not bottom of the barrel, man. Like B tier is still above C tier is average, right? D tier is below average. So B still makes her good.
C tier is average. No, C tier was like C stands for craft. No.
Oh, does it? I don't know. What is it? What are the abbreviations for?
B stands for barely usable. I don't know.
Oh fuck. Okay, never mind. I changed that. She's an A tier because like she's not fucking barely usable. She's gonna be fine. People are being way dramatic about it. I even talked to I went to lose about it a little bit, and he basically did like a damage sim. And basically the only thing holding her back is her ICD. But like if you compare to every pyro DPS in a mono pyro composition, she would be competing and out DPSing some of them.
Okay, so here's the thing, right? Talking about tier lists, we kind of now planted her roughly in the tier list. Now, also, I understand tier lists are very cringe. People don't like tier lists, but
right, yeah.
But the thing is, right? I feel like we're just going about tier lists wrong because currently there are certain characters that are just amazing in the abyss, and like they might not be good in exploration. So maybe in the future, I do think content creators need to start subcategorizing tier lists because one tier list fits all doesn't really work for Genshin. Genshin is broken up to so many different pieces, and I feel like there should be a section for abyss, there should be a section for exploration, there should be a section for bossing, and maybe even a section for, I don't know, events, right? Like because events are like a staple of Genshin Impact. So now that we kind of give her overall rating, now are you comfortable in kind of breaking her down in these subcategories? Like, how do you think she's going to fare in Abyss? Let's just use the current iteration. What about bossing, right? What about, events? Like, just all the weird, different kind of events that we've gotten. Do you think she's going to slot right in with all sorts of events? And finally, what did I say before? The exploration, overall world exploration. What do you think?
So this is really it's really interesting because MiHoYo usually makes Spiral Abyss cater towards whatever characters currently on the banner or what characters are coming. I don't know if you've noticed that, but I've definitely noticed.
Yeah.
Like, when Albedo was out, Geo Abyss, when Zhongli came out, Geo Abyss, So I was talking with someone about this, and I'm not really sure how much ground this holds. Full disclaimer, I haven't actually attempted Abyss this time, just because I haven't been playing much Genshin. But what I've heard is that there's a lot of heavy enemies, a lot of immovable enemies, and as a result of that, even if you use a grouping tool, it's going to be less effective, especially if you take the samurai who just basically say fuck you whenever you try to stagger them or whatever. I think that for that reason, Yoimiya is a good example of a good unit to use, because if you're not able to group them anyways, then it doesn't AoE doesn't matter that much, right? Because they're not going to come to you anyways. And so I think, again, for boss content, that's where she's going to have her, I don't want to say niche, because you can use her outside of that, but that's going to be what she excels at in comparison, because, again, single target damage is her main thing. Overworld, it's I don't know, Overworld's kind of a joke, because it's once you get your characters high enough level, it just kind of dies,
I guess Overworld is more about utilities, right? For example, Sayu is going to be kind of moving into that S tier a little bit, Sayu. Oh my god,
Sayu's S tier because of that passive, bro.
Oh, what passive? I have no idea what you're talking about. I had no idea what you're talking about.
I had a dream about a passive. Yeah, it was a pretty good passive.
I just happened to have a dream about her passive too. Hey, I'm just saying, if our dreams, I don't know.
Maybe we had the same dream. We could talk about it later, though.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. When we're not MiHoYo. Hey, MiHoYo. All right, we're all good here. All good. You can leave chat now, MiHoYo. We're good.
Okay, wait. I'm looking at Abyss right now just to see what
the monsters
what we have.
Yeah, she's okay. The biggest problem with, I think, Yoimiya regarding the Abyss is gonna be the, I think, 11-3 or 11-3 second chamber. It's GG, man. Holy smokes, that thing, I swear to God, that thing spends more time in animation than it actually is a targetable enemy. It's insane. That boss, I made a video talking about the Abyss, and holy smokes, I got chewed out for it. I was like,
oh, I saw, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, holy smokes, this new Abyss is great. I don't really have to deal with the chamber, the floor 12 heralds and lectors anymore. Really didn't enjoy the shield mechanics. It's simply just mash buttons with a certain elemental type, and you're good to go, right? So I was like, okay, now it's more about DPS. They're like huge DPS sponges, and I think it opens up more opportunities for people to experiment with different DPS options. And people are like, nope, no, that's not it. That's not the way to do it. And a lot of people said the biggest problem, the two biggest offenders of this iteration of the Abyss is the Pyro Hypostasis and the Magu Tengu or whatever, the guy who literally takes 300 years to stand up before the fight even starts.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so
yeah, he's not good for Yoimiya. Pyro, what's his name?
Yeah, because she's a bow user, right? So the biggest two offenders of the Abyss, Yoimiya actually doesn't solve that issue. So what's with that, Mihoyo? Like what what was Mihoyo thinking?
So like, what if hypothetically you pulled on Ayaka and Yoimiya, then you put Ayaka on the Pyro Abyss or the Pyro Hypostasis one, and what's her name? Yoimiya on the Cryo Hypostasis one.
Well,
right?
Here's the thing: the Cryo Hypostasis isn't a problem though, because there's so many Pyro DPS, right? The Cryo Hypostasis, the frickin' Tengu, the Magu Tengu, whatever his name is, that's a huge problem. And the Pyro Hypostasis has kept a lot of people even gated from even reaching floor 12 because here's the thing with Ayaka and that boss. It's so damn hard to reach it. Literally, it could be on one corner of the room, and then your Ayaka runs over and does a couple hits, and then it'll be on the other side of the room, and you got to run all the way over again. And it kind of skips and hops around, and it does these weird attacks, and it knocks you up. So it's really difficult without a ranged.
Damn, it made you pregnant.
Yeah, like a ranged and character. I think I used Child and Xingqiu just to be able to fight that boss. It's insane. And people say, just use Barbara. Yeah, Barbara auto attacks are fine as well.
I was going to say, Pyro Hypostasis is annoying because it moves fast, but there's basically a window of opportunity you have if you can get the timing right. I only know this because I've been farming for Yoimiya, so its a pattern is recognizable. Once you get rid of its shield, it's going to take 2 or 3 seconds, and then it's going to teleport to the middle. So with someone like Ayaka, you could probably preemptively start using your burst a second before it goes to the middle. And do something like that. But obviously it moves really fast. It's the most annoying of the hypostasis, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's for sure. So this current iteration of the Abyss, I didn't even mention this in my video because people are just gonna be like, hey, walrus. But yeah, the Abyss doesn't really lean doesn't really lean into Yoimiya either. So that's another huge thing. I don't know why Mihoyo just doesn't like Pyro bow users. I think
Sorry, I don't. You can finish your thought. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh no, it's good. I was just saying there's another Pyro bow user that we all know that Miho just doesn't give much love to, and now a 5-star version has come out, and they're doing the same thing to her as well. What?
I don't know who that is, but what I was gonna say is I think that you could still make the argument that Yoimiya is pretty good for Abyss. I'm not gonna say she's the best character because you have all these other Pyro DPS you can use. But I do think that Chamber 1 of Floor 12, they're all tanky, they all don't want to move. You use a shield with Yoimiya, you're going to be focusing down one really fast. And honestly, these characters, it's better to take them down one at a time if you're going to do sustained damage, which you have to, right? Because they're all so tanky. And so I feel it's not too bad, right? Using Yoimiya, you take down one of the big guys, that's one less idiot that's got infinite poison slashing you from across the map. But also, this is just copium as fuck. I just want Yoimiya to be super good. But the other part of this, sorry, I had another thought. When they were talking about 2.0, they teased all the characters that ended up being on the banners, and so my assumption is that Kokomi is coming in next patch, and that Ball is coming in next patch. And they haven't officially announced it, but I think that's the trend they're setting. And so you also got to consider Pyro Hypostasis on second half. That's still going to be their next patch. So that could be for Kokomi too.
Yeah. So I don't know. It just seems like I'm trying to look for some pros for Yoimiya, and I do think that she, we were talking in chat earlier, she actually makes Overload a really good reaction because she doesn't suffer the biggest issue with Overload is knocking mobs away. Yoimiya couldn't care less. Right, she's gonna work Overload really well and really take advantage of that 4-piece witch set, along with Fischl Fischl and Bao, maybe. Oh my god, Bao, Yoimiya, Fischl, and maybe throw in like I don't know. If you don't need a healer, you can throw in a Ganyu. Diona would be a good healer, right? So maybe is Mihoyo really just trying to push Overload? Or like
I mean, they're just trying to push a different meta in general, because I think that like before it was just a bunch of people like, I'm gonna kill Abyss in 5 seconds. Watch this, Mona, Venti, Eula, or something. Like it's just gonna be anything that's gonna kill Abyss immediately. And so they're trying to push for sustained damage, but to do that, they also have to push energy recharge. And I think Overload is just a kind of symptom of that. I don't think they were trying to push Overload as much. In my opinion, I think they were trying to push energy recharge, but because Electro is the energy recharge like element, that's kind of just a symptom of it. Because like I don't know if you saw, did you see the video of EMC doing 20k overloads?
No, I did not. What it was
Okay.
Electro MC, right?
Yeah, Electro MC was battering Yanfei, and then every time Yanfei attacked for like 15 to 20k or whatever, there was another 20k damage being done on top of that with overload. And like that was pretty nuts.
Yeah, so like I was talking to chat, like remember when the game just started, a lot of people wrote off certain characters and certain ways to play the game simply because they didn't understand how those characters, Xingqiu, Bennett, worked. And now we figured it out and we had more characters to facilitate their playstyles. They essentially rose to god tier just through sometimes newer characters, right? We got Hu Tao and Xingqiu combo. Holy smokes, really good, right? It's just I think Electro suffers greatly from the fact that there's a lack of sample and ways to even make it work. We only have like have like what 4 or 5 Electro characters. So I think with the newer Electro characters and going forward, even more Electro characters, we're gonna have just better ways to make Overload work, and maybe it doesn't need a buff or any more changes than the ones that Mihoyo already give.
Yeah. I think Overload's gonna be coming in pretty clutch. It's hard because the way they just set up the game is like Vape and Melt will always be the strongest, unless you can like, I don't know, unless you're playing Lisa, right? Because Lisa can get up to like I think like 1300 Elemental Mastery, like 28k, 30k overloads. I don't know, shit's insane. But yeah, I mean, I think this is the direction we're heading. I'm really glad to see that we're getting a new Electro character. That is something that I've been super excited about for a long time because I always thought like Electro was always my favorite element just because, electricity, purple, really cool. All the Electro characters have drip except for the homeless guy with a big sword, but they're all like cool looking. They all have cool play styles. They all have good modifiers. So I think that once we expand that roster, we will see like more flexibility in play style. Because like you said, Xingqiu and Bennett both were in the game they were in the game at release. And we just kind of wrote them off as like, oh, they're shit. Like Bennett is just Roy from Smash, bro. He just hurts himself. And like I mean now we know that's changed. I don't think Yoimiya is going to do that, but I think there'll be other characters in the future that enable Yoimiya better. And then I think if we fix the ICD on her, she's going to be a top DPS for single target damage specifically.
Yeah. So okay, now let's talk about your preferred team for her, because I think that's a lot of the things, especially people who want to pull Yoimiya, they're already thinking about this, right? Theory crafting themselves. So what is your ideal team currently? Let's say if her internal cooldown doesn't get changed, right? What is so okay? Let's do two. If her internal cooldown does not get changed, what is the team you want to run her in? And if it were to be changed, then what would the new team be?
Okay, so I'm gonna make like a little bit of a tangent just to kind of explain
Yep.
why I said this. I'm saying this contradictory statement to what I said earlier. So I said Shimano is a trap, and that's true like 90% of the time. But in a specific team composition where you have very powerful batteries, Shimano can actually be very good. And so I think that what I had been planning on, if Ball ends up not being a battery for some reason, then I'll probably stick EMC with Yoimiya. Because Yoimiya's multipliers, like I said, are already pretty good, and EMC can hit 20k overloads. So like you're going to be able to get decent damage, and overload has like a slight AoE to it as well. So there's that. So what I was thinking is Yoimiya, EMC, and then a grouping tool. So the grouping tool is going to be extremely important for the AOE on her Q, because it is. I mean, it's AOE, but it's really small. So that's going to be either Venti or Sucrose. I don't have Kazuha. Mihoyo gave me this awful zombie child instead.
Yes, you have been cursed. You have been cursed.
I have been cursed. I mean, I have a new character on my roster. Yay! What could have been Kazuha though. And then Shao has a separating tool rather than a grouping tool, so we're not going to count him. But an Animo character would be really good. I don't know if Sayu's going to do any grouping or anything, but if she does, that's neat. Yeah, I mean, Sucrose is like highly underrated. Like people who don't have Venti should really try out Sucrose. The other character that I'm thinking about filling with is another Electro, but I need to see how consistent Overload actually is. Because if it ends up being that like I want to run Beto with her, and then EMC can't proc the Overload consistently, then that's like not a good thing.
What
I want to elaborate on
Saya?
Sorry, go ahead.
I mean, not Saya. Sarah.
I do not know anything about that character. I don't think she's gonna end up being a battery though. She looks like a stone cold killer, you know. But also she has a never mind. I'm not gonna spoil any story. But she looks threatening, man. I think that she might end up doing a pretty decent chunk of damage. It's just really hard for me to justify skipping over Fischl or Beto. Like she's gonna have to be better than them.
That's true. All right, so that would be the team you run with without the internal cooldown changes. So what about if the changes do come through? What would her team look like?
I am considering running her with Ganyu if the ICD gets changed. Because in the right setup with Ganyu and her, basically what you can do is use Ganyu until she has Q, use her Q, swap to Yoimiya, basically just attack with Yoimiya, then use her Q and swap to Ganyu. And you can just swap back and forth between those characters, and you're going to constantly get melt and reverse melt off, while being able to maintain a distance, especially because Ganyu is taunt, and then if you use a grouping tool like, Sucrose Venti, you can keep them away from you. So that seems like an ideal situation to me. Alternatively, could use character like Xingqiu, but I just prefer Xingqiu right now on Hu. Like Hu Tao and Xingqiu are just like they're literally made for each other in terms of playstyle.
Shipping? No,
just
work
no
partners.
Shipping.
Just work partners.
No. Just they're roommates. They're not.
I see. Okay, all right. So I guess we pretty much covered most of Yoimiya, her current state, not only due to Mihoyo decisions, but her current, power levels, her positioning in the meta, and as well as, potential changes. Is there anything else you would like to tack on regarding Yoimiya? What anything else that we haven't touched on?
C6 Bennett havers, I have good news. So like everyone knows, I mean I don't know how many people have paid attention to this, and it's possible a lot of your chat knows, but a lot of people that I've talked to actually didn't know this. So C6 Bennett makes it so that your melee hits are infused with pyro, right? It doesn't apply to bow users and catalysts. However, the C6 also gives you 20% pyro damage bonus. It gives you a pyro damage bonus, and that applies to everyone. That is not just counting your melee. So that actually means that Bennett would be like a perfect secondary character to run with Yoimiya. In addition to, you get the 25% resonance bonus to your attack, which is cool.
So are you saying that people who currently have their Bennett sitting at C5 and can upgrade to C6, they should do it if they are a hard Yoimiya simp? Is that what you are suggesting here, Mr. Saxophone?
A lot of people don't really agree with my take on this, but I feel like C6 Bennett is fine. The only reason I have not C6'd him is specifically for content, in case they release physical carries, because that's the only team comp he doesn't work in. I don't really run any physical compositions, but like I need to keep him for content. I kind of tell everyone to just C6 him though. There's more benefit, in my opinion, to C6ing him than there is loss, unless you specifically play Razor or Eula.
That's true, and I remember I used to. I told you I run Bennett with my Hu Tao. Now, how does that make you feel?
That tilts the fuck out of me, but it's fine. Because like you still get more benefit out of him being there than you would without him. It's just that I don't like that. I don't like using him on the Hu Tao team when I can put him on like the other team
That's true.
because then like you end up healing Hu
I am
Tao.
such a big pussy to the point where I run my Hu Tao with Bennett and Zhongli. Yup, that's me. And at the same time, my Bennett is only C5, so I'm not even getting that C6 bonus for my Hu Tao. So hey,
Oh, there you go.
hey, maybe
Actually, wait,
it's time.
C6. Okay, but C6 Bennett with Hu Tao is actually cracked. Like you just don't. It's like 100% uptime for Hu Tao, guys. It's
Yeah, it actually is cracked. It is like I don't see enough people talking about it, but I don't do it because I am not that deep in Hu Tao yet. And I can say that because she is that's a very charged statement. But I like you said, we need to keep Bennett on C5 because as content creators, we can't lose. We can't lose the aspect of his overall buff, like just turning everything into pyro, especially like the melee characters, right? Like that's
yeah.
a steep fall for us.
So what? Yeah, something that like I was thinking about it a lot because like I want to see C6 Bennett specifically for Yoimiya just because I really fucking like the character.
Do it,
But
do it.
but if I do that, okay, you know how like the meta of YouTube thumbnails is like show big damage number on your thumbnail? Like if you
Yeah,
do that,
yeah.
you're losing out on potential big damage number,
Well,
and like that's how you get clicks. Unfortunately, that's like the sad truth of it is like Ziox is getting the views, and if you don't put big numbers in your video, you're not going to get the Ziox views.
that's
right?
true,
So,
right? Papa Ziox is leading the way, so we must follow
yeah.
suit. Well, the thing is,
Absolutely.
if you have Photoshop, you can always just they're gonna be there.
Just fake the damage.
It's gonna be in red numbers, right? Because it's pyro, so you just kind of have to color shift it back to black and white. If you
How to piss off the community in one easy step. Don't show the damage on the thumbnail in the video.
dude, I mean, I'm just saying these methods, these thumbnails, I can't even reach these numbers, man. Like I've tried to with these new characters, but I can't. I just don't have the resources. I don't have the patience to grind out all this stuff. Like till right now, my Ayaka's talents are like 5, 6, 2, and 5 or something like that, and she's sitting at level 80. So is her weapon. I literally, if I sit down right now for 30 minutes and grind it out, I think I can get her to level 90, and I can get her weapon to level 90. But man, these thumbnails, man, I can't keep up. My numbers are just not there. I can't.
It's getting more ridiculous every time. I need to take it a step back because I think that like if it's not in the realm of like reality, like realistic numbers to some extent, people just get mad. Like I made the mistake of like on my Jingcho video, I showed 2 hits of 320k. Because like he did that with his E, but like that's a little ridiculous. He one shot the wolf.
Holy smokes! See, this is the thing I'm talking about, man. Like I can't even start to wrap my head around how we're getting these levels of numbers with these characters. I mean, I know I'm just not digging deep enough to the theories and to the min maxing aspects of their kit. Because essentially, like you said, his E, once you maximize it, there is that potential, right? But I can't reach it. I just because I don't read forums, I don't look at other people's research and findings. I always go in completely blind, and half the time I make a fool out of myself. But at this point, I think I'm known for the channel that gives hot takes, and and hey, man, I'm just living and grinding on with that. At least there's something I'm known for, right? I'm giving hot takes.
I mean, if you're okay with it, man, yeah. I have seen some people talking about this, and honestly, I don't think what you're doing is bad. I think it's good to have multiple perspectives because what we have right now in the Genshin community is like giant echo chambers of people just repeating the same thing that their favorite YouTuber said, but then like there's differing opinions from top YouTubers, and then there's like other people that are like, okay, but like who cares? And then those people get attacked.
Yeah, like this is the thing, right? What I'm doing right now, essentially, I'm just talking about. I'm making discussions. I open discussions, and sometimes I know opening a certain discussion is gonna get me a lot of hate. Regarding what was it? I was talking about this earlier. The new Abyss changes. So that is something that I know people are gonna be talking about, and I didn't know people didn't like the current iteration of Abyss. I didn't know, they just hated it so much that they're saying, especially for free to plays or semi whales or semi tryhards, for the people like you were mentioning who just like whatever, just play the game, they're really struggling because now you are heavily rewarded for understanding exactly where power comes from in your team, as opposed to just random bullshit go, right? Because sometimes if you mistime your random bullshit, all your bullshit just never even, hit the target because of the iframes that they have, right? We have iframes, so why shouldn't our opponents also have iframes? And I was thinking, I really enjoy this current iteration of the Abyss because I like, yes, I do have all the characters. I've built up a lot of characters, but even if I were only to have half the characters I have now, it gives opportunities to play with new main DPSs, other DPSs. And yes, there are specific situations like the Pyro Hypostasis where you have to use Hydro or, Cryo to do it. But for the vast majority of floor 12, you're able to take in any DPS you want as long as you understand the pros and cons. You're able to have a good time. I think have a quote-unquote good time, right? I don't know what you define as good time. But yeah, I opened that box and, people came flooding in, be like, oh, no, no, no. So I don't know. That's what I'm doing
everyone's
now.
entitled to their own opinion, and like, I don't know, it's the internet. People are going to disagree. People are going to be pissed. But like, one example I can think of is like, do you know Zajev? I don't know if I'm saying his name right. He's like a theory. He's a theory crafter.
No, I do not.
All right. So he does math for like Ziox and stuff, and he streams, and he talks about things on stream, such as like damage numbers, what characters are the best, why you shouldn't run this character over this character. But his like motto outside of that is anyone can outscale the content, so everything works. And I feel like everyone tends to ignore that when you're looking at things such as Abyss, right? But people are going, they're saving for Ganyu rerun, right? They're like, we need Ganyu. I can't clear Abyss without Ganyu. Anyone works though, if you build the right team composition or if you build the characters the right way. It is possible. It might not be as easy as Ganyu, but it's possible. And I think that people need to like consider that a lot more than we're seeing. That's the Echo Chambers thing.
Like in the end though, the problem with the Abyss is people don't do the Abyss to, like, I mean, most people, the vast majority, don't do the Abyss because it's challenging. They do the Abyss for, the primo gems, right? So how much they have to work, how much work they have to put in to get back the same amount of rewards can also be, a factor that affects how people feel about the current iteration of the Abyss. Because if their teams now are essentially countered by the Abyss, then they're gonna have to put resources into new teams just to clear the Abyss to get the exact same rewards that they gotten with previous patches. And I think that's where a lot of people feel frustrated, is that I definitely feel there is a misbalance of rewards when it comes to the Abyss. And I think with my recent video and the comments, it's never been echoed louder than now, that people really feel like it's too difficult. And and with all the new characters coming out, if they want to build a new, like for example, if Yoimiya is coming out and they're struggling and they can't beat Pyro Hypostasis and they still want Yoimiya, well, Yoimiya's not going to help you very much with the Pyro Hypostasis. You can level up her to 90, right. You're still going to be stuck. You're still going to be stuck on the Pyro Hypostasis. So this is where a lot of the frustration will lead to. Is like, well, I want to play the game how I want, but I really want Yoimiya. I really love Yoimiya, but now I'm going to be missing out on on the floor 12 primos because I want Yoimiya. And when people are a little more like they are min-maxy, then they get offended. They're like, hey, why am I forced to do this? So I don't know. People are getting upset, and I kind of just took a bullet, jumped right in front of a machine gun.
I don't know. It's people are just gonna hate whatever opinion you have. Like, there's validity to what you're saying too, though. I'm not gonna say like I agree, because I didn't really agree with the premise of the video, but I'm not gonna say like you're an idiot for it, because like you had good points too. Like, I like that they changed up the Abyss, like that it's not, we had the same fucking floor 9 and 10 for so long. Like, so freaking long. Abyss 12 feels like it lasts an age, because it's usually like a patch and a half. It's usually like 9 weeks or so. I don't know. It is nice to get some fresh stuff in there. I will say the numbers, the DPS check, is fucking ridiculous. And other people have been doing math on it just to see like how much health enemies have. Enemies have so much more health in this Abyss than they used to.
Yeah, it's like,
and they should have just
like almost double that from the charts I've seen. Like, it's pretty insane. Like the amount of DPS you need to clear that. Like, not double, but like it's like,
it's up there.
Yeah,
it's like
really,
it's pretty high.
It's a lot, because the gimmick back in the previous Abyss was the shield, right? So they didn't need HP because it was all in the form of shield. So you can do it with like a level 1 not Xingqiu, Chongyun, or a level 1 Kaya if you can dodge it, right? It didn't really matter. You didn't need to pour in resources to level these characters up. We also had the Bennett cheese. There were so many workarounds for the previous mechanics, but now it's just like you either have the damage and clear the abyss, or you don't have the damage and you just don't. And
I mean, they should have just made a floor 13. I don't really know why they didn't do that.
This is the thing, right? I've been saving. I've been saving this for videos. Like, why isn't there a floor 13? And since you're here, and I think you've played the game for such a long time, and like we can actually open this this Pandora box as well, right here. So we can talk about it, because because it always leads back to business structure, in my opinion, right? miHoYo needs a good reason to pour in the resources in development, and they need yield. Because in their world, it's all just like in a lot of our world, it's just spreadsheets. It's just spreadsheets. But their numbers are much larger, and they need to justify every single line of number versus the amount that was put in. So basically, they have to pour in human resources. Developers need to they need artists to skin the new, because we know miHoYo, they're not gonna just half-ass a new portion of the game. Look at Inazuma. It's so well done, so polished. And if a floor 13 is coming, they're not gonna just slap a reskin floor 12 and just call it floor 13 with new enemies. That's just not how they do things. So here's the problem. I don't think miHoYo, especially the developers or the investors, can justify spending the resources for floor 13 because they can't get the yield back. They just can't. There's no way, people are not going to spend more to do it. They just won't.
I've been thinking about, like, in terms of different gimmicks they could do to make a new Abyss like different and fresh. Because you're mentioning like they would go all out, they would make like a big deal out of it, right? They would make it different. I was thinking about, like, how we have trial characters and we get a 5th character in the party? What if instead of 2 teams, they just gave us like a really hard floor with a higher time cap, maybe more punishing mechanics, but we got to use 5 characters. Maybe that's floor 13. And then instead of gems, like this might piss off free to play if you're listening right now, cover your ears. But instead of gems, they give us resin, right? So that way free to play players who can't complete, or maybe not even free to play, just people that can't complete Abyss, they're only missing out on like resin, right? Like transient resin. You can get like 3 of them. Not transient, fragile resin. That way, it's like, yes, it's still equivalent to like Primo Gem rewards, but you couldn't use it to spend on characters, so you don't feel like you're missing out that much.
Well, actually, now that you mentioned that, what if the roles were reversed? Wait, are you saying resin for floor 13 or resin for floor the lower floors, and floor 13 will be the Primo Gem reward? Because I think if we flip it, that would benefit the free to play a lot better. They actually need resin. So if they did Abyss 9 through 12, they get resin instead, and floor 13 would be just take all the 9 through 12 Primo Gem rewards and just throw it into floor 13.
Fuck it, just give everyone resin. Just give it to everyone.
I mean, it's I think free to play players right now, a lot of them can't beat the Abyss simply just because they don't have enough resin. They don't have enough resin to farm out the materials, to farm out enough teams, variations of team to be strong. And this is why I think tier lists do matter. A lot of people say like it's cringe, but I think in situations like this, if people listen to tier lists and prioritize the top characters in the tier list, like Venti, Zhongli, Ganyu, Bennett, Xingqiu. I mean, these characters, if you build them up, they're universal. Like they really don't go out of style in different metas, in different teams, and they slot into more teams than one. That's why they are top tier, because for the resources you get poured into these characters, they will return it back to you tenfolds, because they literally just do everything. They're S tier in almost every category in the game.
Sure, yeah. But like, no, this is gonna be a hot take. This is gonna piss a lot of people off. I don't use Venti. I have Venti. I've had Venti for a long time. The only time I've ever used Venti was recently when I got to Inazuma and I started farming talent materials. The reason I don't use Venti is because I don't enjoy his gameplay. And I feel like there's something to be said, like, obviously Ganyu is like insanely good, right? But there's something to be said for, like, if you end up rolling Ganyu and you just don't like how she plays, then you're probably not going to use her in Abyss unless you feel like you have to. But there's that side of the argument as well, right?
That's essentially me. I don't use Ganyu unless I'm doing it in the Abyss for the Primogem rewards. Then other than that, I don't do it. I only do that because I pretty much done it the other ways, and I just like, oh, now I just want to do it fast. So for example, this iteration of the Abyss, now I've cleared it with like 5 different teams. Going forward, I'm just gonna use Ganyu because I already went through the fun. I know exactly what's happening, so I'm just gonna use Ganyu, blow through it, and get my rewards, and I'm done. And I think that's also a big problem because these Abyss last for a long time, and as they continue to refresh the rewards, there's just no incentives to go in and make it challenging for yourself versus just going in to get the rewards.
Right. Going back a little bit to like the floor 13 thing, I don't think it's like out of the scope of what MiHoYo wants to do, but I think that like their thing has typically been like they have a new area content patch, and then they have a well, this might not be the right order, but they have an area content patch, and then they're gonna have another one like towards the end of the patch as well. And then in between then you have some like big fillers, like festival things or like big events that like actually change the world a little bit. And I could see them, instead of doing like one of those like big festival, or maybe they'll do like one of those big festival things for like another city or region, but like they could just add that in as like an event, like celebrate like that, the addition of a new Floor of the Abyss, and I don't know, free to play will be mad because harder content but it's like I don't know. I don't think adding floor 13 hurts anyone except for MiHoYo potentially from free to play, or maybe not even free to play, just anyone getting an extra 150 primos.
Yeah, I think I do think floor 13 is a necessary thing for Genshin Impact late game, because right now the difference between whales and even, I mean, the Leviathans versus even whales are like really big. I don't think I mean, just take somebody like Tony Toe versus someone like me, right? It's insanely large. And it's for whales, Leviathans, they don't get to really enjoy the end game. And yeah, partly it's our fault. We spend so much money, we dump it, and we get these amazing characters, and we overpower them. Now they're overskilled for the content we have. But I think yes, floor 13 can solve so many of these issues and more. But it just, in the end, it just doesn't generate MiHoYo revenue in the process. It just solves a problem of either it's frustration or just content, but it doesn't really drive sales in any regards, right? I mean, if it's difficult enough to make the Leviathans even feel remotely challenged, that's such a huge gap, like I was saying, between the Leviathans and even someone like me, that I can never justify, spending more to cover for the increase in difficulty. That's, at the end of the day, that's what it is, right? And I think MiHoYo understand that, like, how are they gonna? Because MiHoYo are people pleasers. They want to satisfy their player base and they want to solve problems for us. But like, if you've seen what they've done, usually, unless it's like smaller changes, easier to fix changes, quality of life changes that they do slowly, they always tie new bigger changes around their income, and I think that's the right move to do. But yeah, floor 13, I just can't see any way MiHoYo can put in something this large without having it line their pockets, essentially.
I mean, that's like, I don't know if maybe this is just like a bias that I have. I'm kind of the guy who's like, fuck big corporations, like I don't really feel like MiHoYo's not really losing anything except for a couple primos every time, right? Like the thing is, it might not be generating them revenue, but the fact is that they've made like almost enough money to top Fortnite's all-time sales. Maybe more now. Actually, the last time I checked this was like a long time ago. For them to add a new Abyss would literally just be extra content for the players that would satisfy the player base. I feel like if they were people pleasers, then that would be a thing.
That's, yeah, you're absolutely right. It wouldn't hurt them whatsoever. It actually would, showing this kind of generosity to the player base would actually in turn make the players more loyal to MiHoYo, to the game, to Genshin Impact. And yeah, I mean, if it were me, I would do it, but I don't know why MiHoYo isn't doing it. And here's the thing, right? The anniversary is coming up. So the anniversary,
yeah,
dude, the anniversary could be revolutionary because of MiHoYo's budget. So I mean, did you know, like, during Chinese New Year, MiHoYo literally gave all their staffs like PS5s and like Xbox Ones and I think I even saw like gaming PCs. They were so generous. Yeah, you can search it up. It's on Google. Like there was hundreds of PS5s and stuff. Like MiHoYo has been very generous to their staff, and
that's really good. I actually didn't know that.
So the 1 year anniversary, and that is public news. So all like the players now, right? The people know what they've done for their employees. Now, what are they gonna do for their player base? That is the next. So I am really looking forward to this anniversary. So much can come. There could be surprises. Like I'm not gonna say like, oh, floor 13 is gonna be a huge surprise. They're gonna give the players. I don't know, but judging from the Chinese New Year, we got like what 5 or 10 free pulls or something like that, and it was like spread out over a week. I mean, it has to top that, right? So I think if we're talking about generosity, this has to be reevaluated once we see what they're gonna do for the anniversary, because they can either gain a huge surge of followings and loyalty from the player base, or they're gonna like oh, here's 5 free fish and 3 tofus and and a bucket load of salt to go with that. So I don't know. I think in about a little over a month, right? 2 months essentially, 1.5 months, we're gonna get the anniversary. Even less time than that, we're gonna know roughly about the anniversary. Fingers crossed, man. Fingers crossed. I do think floor 13 is it's almost necessary at this point. And I truly believe even free to play players who started playing like the beginning of this year. I'm not gonna even say from the start of the game. Beginning of this year, who knew what they were doing, properly optimized their teams. Right now, they shouldn't be struggling too much with the current versions of the Abyss. It's gotten to the point where endgame in Genshin is just how much effort you want to put in to clear it. It's not about whether you have the resources or not. Most people do have the resources, just don't know how to use it. And that's what I got shit on for, but by saying that.
That's okay. It's a day in the life of Genshin Impact YouTube, man. I feel that I mean, this is changing topics a little bit, but there's been a lot of traumatic stuff happening,
Dude, like I've actively tried to go away from the drama, but drama finds me, man. Like these videos, I understand it's because of the topic, but I don't know. I don't really know what's going on in the space, but I'd imagine it's pretty intense.
Yeah, I think some of that has to do with just like a lot of people are trying to get the best bang for their buck, and free to play are just trying to get the best bang for their primos, right? So like they want to make sure that they're making the right decision, and I get that because gacha is fucking predatory and awful. The game is really good, but like the system is bad. And so like I get it, but like yeah, the amount of like I've seen a huge spike in kind of like toxicity, I think, since I want to say like towards the end of 1.6. And I don't know if it's just also because people are bored, because that happens a lot. Drama, all that kind of stuff. It sucks to be stuck in the middle of it, but it's like kind of just a symptom of like the gig, right? We're making videos with our opinions on content, and people are going to obviously disagree. There's going to be big figures in the community who disagree, who are going to unfortunately send their followers after smaller figures. But what is important, I guess, is to realize that like it is just opinions, and I think that eventually people are going to like they're going to come to terms with that eventually. I think maybe not right now. Maybe people are just hungry for ball, and they're just going to be mad until they get ball.
I don't know. Your waifus seems to solve a lot of the issues, doesn't it? Like when waifus are around, it seems like the world knows peace and quiet. But very quickly afterwards, a new storm arises.
Yes.
I feel like yeah, like you're saying, people just have different takes, and they kind of gravitate towards bigger figures, like authorities, I guess. And I say authorities very loosely, like essentially we are just representatives of certain minority groups, and when they find that their thoughts and opinions align with us, they kind of take our side, and then they kind of like we essentially create an echo chamber. And I'm actually really scared of that. I really don't like it when people just echo whatever I say and be like, really, really good. I always enjoy a little bit of, different takes. But sometimes when I encourage that, people take it the wrong way, be like, oh, shit on me, like roast me. And I'm just like, it doesn't really serve a purpose. We're here for a discussion. And, sometimes discussions
Yeah.
are good. Sometimes they just take a wrong turn and it gets personal. So what can I say? I think I still enjoy what I'm doing, dude. I've not been too crazy on the guides. Like, and to be honest, man, like I was never really that big of a guide guy. Anyways, like my guides were always more like my interpretations and my findings and my applications to the game. And don't do charts. I don't like run my own code like Mister. I win to lose, right? I don't do spreadsheets, and I really just go in with my applications. And sometimes maybe I'm biased and hey, get some shit for it as well.
Yeah. I was gonna mention that I feel like things have become kind of like factioned a little bit, which is like, again, it might just be something that we see as content creators, but like it feels to me, and I think a lot of people in the Yoimiya controversy, or who are involved in that debate, are feeling it really hard right now, because obviously we got to see what her numbers are like in the trial, and her numbers in the trial were obviously scuffed.
Yeah,
but like based on that information, if we were to not talk about leaks at all, we would be able to like calculate what her base attack and shit is based off of the damage numbers she's doing and the defense of the enemies, all of that. So we know what her kit is like. We know what damage she does. And Theory Crafters said she's bad, and so people who watch Theory Crafters now think she's fucking awful, worst character in the game, literally dog shit, unplayable. Don't even bother spending your primos. And that's one side of the community. The other side of the community is like, I just want her because she's cute, or because she's voiced by Rin Tosaka's VA, Kanoeda. And I don't know, like that's what I've been feeling a lot of, because you mentioned at the start of this, like I really am excited for that character. I think she's going to be awesome. I hope that at some point, the Genshin community can kind of just decide that, hey, the game is fun to play it the way that you want to. Maybe we just need more units in the game to make that decision. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, like when you have as many characters in Genshin as you have in like League of Legends, I really don't think. I mean, I actually no, that's a terrible analogy, because League of Legends literally literally lives and breathes meta. Holy smokes, that's like the worst comparison I've ever done. But like then does that mean if we get more characters, people are just gonna have better and more solid tier lists, and these tier lists will be updated like every patch to make sure like people coming in knows exactly what they're getting into. I swear that's what's gonna happen. Those big websites, they're just gonna list all these characters in a constant tier list, and with new updates, they're just gonna adjust the tier list a little bit, and there's still gonna be a tier list. I think in the end, people just want to feel superior. And this is we're going away from Genshin now.
This is like psychology now.
Yeah,
this is
yeah, people just want to feel superior. They just want to feel like the characters they main or they play are better than others. That's one portion, and the other portion, like, essentially are the victims of these other players, which are just here to have a good time. They want to play the characters they want, and they don't take this as seriously, right? They don't know about DPS rotations, optimizations, artifacts, whatnot. They just want to have fun. They just want to hear their characters moan. Like they want to go climb walls.
Play Lisa.
Yeah, I mean, and there's different people playing the game, and I guess in that way, maybe MiHoYo was just playing 4D chess. They knew what the community was going to be like, so they they just kind of made the game single player with like slight hints of multiplayer in it. Thank God there's no fucking PvP in this game. Holy smokes, man! Like MiHoYo has foresight. What can I say? They kind of predicted what's going to happen, and they're keeping us protected from ourselves, essentially.
It's so funny. Imagine Genshin PvP, the most toxic game of all time.
Dude, like, holy smokes. I like, if we're just gonna go down this train of thought, like Genshin PvP would have to be completely rebalanced. Like all characters have to be completely rebalanced. I don't even know how it would be a whole new game. Like they might as well just make a new game. There's no way to play Genshin PvP.
Really? Genshin Battle Royale. Please don't give us another Battle Royale.
Yeah, like first and foremost, Zhongli mains would be like fucking. People are gonna be like, no skill, no brain, takes literally no effort to play that character, right? Venti mains would be like abusers of the kid, like you're just a Venti abuser.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Ganyumates can't aim; they just shoot the ground.
Yeah, like Ganyume's literally like take 0 skill as well, just fucking shoot the ground and use your ult and I can't even get close to you.
Oh my god.
Dude.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
Yeah, like I think Amber mains, right? People are gonna give respect to Amber mains. Like, okay, respect. I got clapped by an Amber. People like literally people like who what's his name? Rintai Cho would have like 4 times the subs he has now simply because he's an Amber main.
Number one Amber PvP play.
Yeah, like holy smokes, it's just like highlights of him like clapping cheeks with Amber. You know, I mean, it would be a whole different dynamic. The game would be completely different, and that's why I think PvP likely will never exist because it's just it's just a different game. Man. But it's so fun to think about. Like I've theory crafted, like thought about PvP going down this rabbit hole. I'm like, holy smokes, how would they even have to like do things to certain characters? And man, oh man. It's a lot of fun thinking about it. Not going to be a lot of fun playing through
it. Someone in chat just said, "Amber mains what they eat, how they live." Dude, Amber mains are actual chads. Okay, like I will have you know that these guys are eating out at like 5-star restaurants that they own every single day. They're bringing in millions of dollars a year from their insane 5-star food chains. And they eat healthy as fuck too. That's the other part, right? They gotta be like ripped as hell. They gotta be at the top of their game to play Amber effectively. But you know these guys are already like probably 260 pounds, skinny legends, absolutely fucking ripped, chiseled jaws. That's Amber mains, man.
Yeah, sounds about right. Holy smoke, Amber mains. Like imagine Genshin PvP and you load in and the enemy players like an Amber and you just know you're fucked because no one in their right mind plays Amber unless they're total giga chads.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You just gotta get prepared to be in a YouTube video at that point. You're the highlight.
Yeah, you know you're going in the montage. They're gonna trick shot you and shit. Like you're done.
Yeah. Killed by Baron Bunny.
Oh my god. Yeah, no. I hope PvP doesn't become a thing because, like, fuck, I don't want to see one thing. Okay, this is kind of off topic, but Final Fantasy, what they did for their PvP to balance all the classes is they changed every single class. So you keep like some core abilities, but like most of your abilities are changed to be balanced around PvP. And if they did that in Genshin, I feel like it would be so inconvenient to have to learn how like 30 different characters on the roster work.
Yeah, exactly. It's I mean, playing MMOs. Over time, I think PvP has always been slightly different from PvE because a lot of the times PvE is designed for satisfaction. You know, part of it has to be satisfying. You don't want to hit like 300 damage on a late game boss. It just doesn't feel good. So they kind of rescale it down for PvP and yeah. I don't think it's ever gonna happen to Genshin. As fun as if it would feel, no, it's not gonna happen. And MiHoYo. I don't know, man, where MiHoYo wants to take all this stuff. I think they're sitting comfortably. They're making money. They just want to focus on the lore, the characters, and rinse and repeat. I think what's the next region? Do you know? Is it Fontaine or Fontaine is a 4th region?
I believe it's Sumeru. Sumeru. It's the Dendro one. So we're probably getting Dendro next year. Is my guess.
Yeah. So a new element, and dude, maybe like I've seen people saying maybe Dendro is gonna give Electro that 2 times reaction, which well,
I don't really understand, but yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure. Like let's just fancy these people's prayers. I mean, I think MiHoYo has a clear vision for how they want to develop the game, and they're just gonna follow suit with that. Whether some of the things that we want are in line with what they want, or they might deviate from their plan. I really don't think MiHoYo is one to deviate too much from their original plan. You can see like how they plan things and how they prepare for things patches in advance. Hard to one thing I really want is frickin' artifact preset, artifact preload, artifact quick swap, whatever people want to call it.
Oh my god,
I need that. I would bathe myself in the and also when you are loading out into the abyss, please let us change artifacts and whatnot in the loadout screen. I don't like quitting abyss, reloading, going in, and say, oh crap, I forgot the weapon on my frickin' Diona, and I have to go back out. And dude,
I can't stand that, man.
I swear, this simple change would get so many more people involved in the abyss and willingly to try things out in the abyss. Spend more hours just limit testing. It's such a I want to pull my hair out every time I have to record footage for the Abyss for a different team, especially for team videos. I know it's my part-time job, like, essentially at this point, but dude, it is so frustrating, man. Like, and then when I'm done with everything, okay, time to go back to my overworld team. But holy smokes, each artifact is on 3 different characters. It's all split up sometimes. Oh god.
Yep. You gotta have that whale money to have the convenience factor of just having your artifacts where you want them to be.
Yeah, dude, if MiHoYo releases a feature that's like subscription based, $15 a month, $20 a month, I'll take it. I'll take it. In a heartbeat.
15 to $20 a month just for artifact presets, please.
Yeah.
I swear to God, I'll pay it.
Yeah, MiHoYo, make it happen. Hey, you want money, right? Here it is. We've been literally begging. Like I've seen.
We can hold out like a fishing rod, you know, like a reel them in.
Dude, that I don't know. I still don't know how that feature is not here yet. Over a year of the game being released, but yeah, new artifacts again, right? I have to go back. I haven't even farmed artifacts because I'm so tired of switching artifacts and trying artifacts. But I can't dodge it forever. Bao's gonna probably need me to go grind it. Oh my god, just end me now. And then trying different sets, mix matching. It's
some people's luck has been really good. I will say like streamer luck this time around has been insane. Like I don't know if you've seen Code, but Code's been getting every single day. He's gotten at least one artifact with like 25% crit damage or higher. He's gotten a few perfect ones too. And like every other streamer except for me, of course.
Of course, except ourselves.
Yeah. Like I think I've spent like probably now 4,000 resin. I have one piece that has crit damage crit rate on it, and it's got 20% crit damage and like 3 defense rolls. So it's
sounds about right. Right, that sounds about right.
Yeah. Well, so it's rough, man. I haven't heard of a lot of people outside of those streamers getting good rolls, but maybe your chat's got some good rolls. I don't know.
No, it's nothing but eternal suffering, right? Land of eternity.
Yeah,
right
land
now.
of
eternal
eternity.
Eternal suffering. Holy smokes! I haven't even dared touch that artifact domain just because I'm really worried as to a lack of resin. I feel like there's a crisis within myself, being like, dude, with all this new stuff, and MiHoYo is gonna add 3 more regions. I mean, not 3 more regions, like 3 more islands for Inazuma in the next patch. I just want to save some resin and see what's gonna happen in the next patch before MiHoYo, like, you know, shafts me.
Oh yeah, of course. The natural law of Genshin things.
Yeah, like immediately after you spend resources for one thing, something else, something better, something more efficient comes out, and you're just like staring, and your wallet's literally like shriveled up in the corner, like weeping to himself, and you're just like, I'm sorry, little one, just one more time. No.
Oh my god. I'm not a person to resin refill unless I need to make a video. And like I've done that a couple times because like the Pale Flame domain I didn't have an easy time with. But like yeah, people are hurting for resin right now, especially, you know, new boss out, right? Like Pyrohypostasis you need to farm if you're getting Yoimiya. You have to farm new ascension materials, new talent materials, like, and new artifacts. And then like if they introduce more islands, like will we see more artifacts? Will we see more materials? Will we see, you know, what else are we gonna have to deal with?
Yeah, it wouldn't be out of MiHoYo to lock Bao and Kokomi's ascension material and whatnot on the new islands, and there's no way to get access until you. Same thing what they did with Ayaka. Like, I mean, it just makes sense, right? Like, they don't want us to pre-farm. They want us to go in, be short on resources, and for people who really want Bao on like the first two days, really want to play her, well, just resin refill, and you'll get her to level 90. I mean, it's like you said, you know, this is the thing we don't like, big corporations, but hey. They just want to. I think at this point they're just competing with themselves. It's like, how do we smash our old record? How do we beat Venti banners? How do we beat Zhongli banners? Well, let's, you know, what if we do this? Oh wow, that's gonna be big brain.
Yeah. Just get Rin Tosaka's VA to voice a character, and you've done it. You've won.
Yeah,
I don't know. I actually, okay, despite all like the, I don't want to call it shit talk, but it does feel like it's evolved to this point. Despite all the Yoimiya slander in the community, I will say that like she's probably still going to be one of the higher rolling banners because just so many people are excited for like her character like regardless of her damage, so many people are just excited to be able to play her. And I mean, just because she's cute, she's ditzy, she's fun.
I
Firework girl.
mean, there's always a resurge in character banners when not only the what's it called, the teasers, the demos come out, and then like Tony Toad does a damage showcase, and people are like,
Yep.
holy shit, I need this character right now. There's gonna be hype once she releases for sure. It's gonna drive it back up. I think like Kazuha is one of those characters that was pretty good. Like Kazuha is really good for somebody who kind of feels like an afterthought for most people, especially during his banner and even now. Like people think of Kazuha mostly as an afterthought. They didn't really pay too much attention. Like I think Ayaka was way more hype than Kazuha
Yeah.
was. But to be
100%.
real with everybody, Kazuha is more useful overall than Ayaka is.
Yeah.
That's just the truth. So I don't know. Like for Yoimiya, I feel like is she gonna be that character that is really hype and people really want her, but she's gonna end up being okay, or she's gonna be like an afterthought and people want to go for a bow, and then after she's released, all the testings are done, people like run her numbers, and Mihoyo makes some changes, and now suddenly she's like, holy shit, she's almost a must pull. Like Ganyu levels are broken. Like, maybe not gonna happen. Mihoyo's never gonna let that one slide.
Right.
But
No shit.
right.
Mihoyo fucking hates that they did this, but they can't nerf it because it's illegal. So
Yeah, so like we don't know how that's gonna play out, but I think even Ayaka, right? Like she's not that good, like to be compared with some of the top tier 5 stars. Even some 4 stars, I think, offer more value to your teams than Ayaka would. But she's not bad, right? If you want a crowd DPS, if you want, she does something very specific, and she does it really, really well. And I think for going forward for the most of the characters, if you don't get constellations, they're just gonna do one thing really, really well. At most.
Actually, I like Ayaka a lot. I think she's great. But like, yeah, Mihoyo's never released Mihoyo's supports are always very strong. Mihoyo's supports, with the exception of Electro MC, always do damage.
Right.
Like, and that's a thing. That's a thing in Honkai as well. Like, they just beef up their support units. So they always end up being the better pulls. Most people that I know that are using Albedo right now are not having any trouble with Abyss. Because Albedo's 20k damage every time his fucking flower procs, right? And you have constant shield shards going out, and the Geo-Res and all that. Same thing with Kazuha. Like, everyone who's clearing top Abyss right now, Kazuha's one of the most picked. I think Kazuha might be more picked than Venti right now.
Yeah, because it's just more freestyle, and it's more flexible than Venti is. So I honestly think Kazuha in most scenarios just works better than Venti. Venti only offers some of like the really wombo combo-y team comps. Whereas Kazuha really works with almost everything. Of course not Geo, but he works with almost every team roster, and he can set up great for most teams. Proper like I don't know if I'm tripping or not, but I feel like Kazuha has more accurate infusions for the element you want. I don't know.
There's like an elemental priority to it. I think a lot of people like to infuse Pyro or Cryo. But I think Pyro is always at the top of the list. So like if you have multiple things on the field, I think it'll always do Pyro first. But I might be wrong on that.
Yeah, I mean Yoimiya. In the end, I think she's gonna be okay. That's how I feel. I really don't believe Mihoyo is gonna push her too hard, and maybe gonna be a support DPS, and kind of like an applicator. Especially with her burst, and she's on hit, like official, like Pyro official, but probably better than official, which would put her at a really solid spot. Because if you think about official, she's kind of irreplaceable in a lot of situations, and I think Yoimiya is gonna be in a similar like state. She's gonna be main DPS, support DPS, and support, like 3 capabilities.
That's not gonna stop me from playing her as a main DPS, but like yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see how she plays too. The other problem is like we never had the actual opportunity to take her into Abyss and just see how she compares with other characters. So we'll have to see when she comes out. But those people who are like waiting to pull until they see like what YouTubers think of her, I think that's like your best bet, in my opinion, is just waiting. Like if you're not just trying to get like a character that you really like, but you want just a character that does a lot of damage, I would just wait a couple days. And also like. Never mind. I was gonna say basically like don't let clickbait decide for you. But like at the same time, every video you watch is gonna be clickbait. No video is not gonna fucking clickbait you. So just like watch the videos, form your own opinion of it based on the numbers you see. Be wary of damage showcases. Usually damage showcases are just to get just to show like I know what I'm talking about, rather than how strong the character actually is.
Right. It's
But
more about
wait a
like,
couple days.
yeah, like more about like something flashy to grab your attention and then hitting you with the hard stuff afterwards. The
Yeah.
hard truth afterwards. Hey, you see that 1.2 million damage that I did in the beginning? Well, let me tell you a little bit about that.
Yeah. Most like free to play EULA players are hitting like 100k usually. And then like Tony Toe's like, watch this 5 million real quick. Like,
Yeah, but when people quote Eula, it's always the 5 million. They never
yeah,
quote the
yeah.
100k. No, no, no. Never ever seen anybody like for the amount of people who comes into my like comments in my videos like, but Eula does 5 million. How is she not like S tier?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just like, I don't really, I can't even respond to that. People just take somebody else's word. It's like they just quote something without really doing the research themselves. It's tough, man. It's tough.
It is, man. But like, I don't know. I'm excited regardless. I think that she'll be fine, like you said. And I am looking forward to her banner, especially like Sayu as well. I probably won't end up playing Sayu, but it'll be cool to have another Animo character on the roster because she would be the second 4-star Animo character. Right now, there's only one. That's Sucrose. So that'll be fun as well. And I don't know. What are your plans? Are you pulling for everyone?
Yup. Till the day I quit.
Oh,
I'll be getting
I'm
every single
sorry.
character. So I don't know. Even though you mentioned Yoimiya has the internal cooldown issues, I'm still gonna be like, exactly how bad is she? Let's see just how bad this internal cooldown issue is and play her with her.
Right.
I probably will play her with Xingqiu regardless, man. Trust me. Like when it comes to gameplay, I keep telling my chat knows this. Like when I play Ganyu as a main DPS, I think I have a hit accuracy. We're talking including the bloom. Including the bloom. I have a hit accuracy of probably like 50%. Including the bloom. So
No.
people like
Not like
it's a
this.
running gag on my channel that like I'm literally just I'm blind or some shit like that. Like I have to be some sort of impaired to miss that many shots on Ganyu and be like, hit the floor, and I hit the floor and then I hit it too short or I hit it too far and it still misses. It doesn't
I mean,
doesn't
that's
matter.
who Ayaka's good for too, because like Ayaka, I actually really I like Ayaka more than Ganyu. I'm not saying Ayaka's better than Ganyu because I don't think she is, but I love playing her more than Ganyu because like I don't have to fucking aim, man. I can just
Yeah,
I can just attack.
Ayaka's a lot of fun, but when I play Ayaka, my E misses like half the time as well because
Oh my
dude,
god.
I swear I have something that I have issues with distance in this game. Like I keep thinking my thing's gonna hit, but it doesn't hit. Right? Sometimes I use Ganyu and I hit the floor. It's like that has to hit. The bloom is gonna hit, and it doesn't hit. Same with Ayaka. I use her E. Oh look, enemies are around me. It has to hit. Doesn't hit. I don't know, man. I'm starting to lose my mind a little bit over here. I feel like Mihoyo's just playing with me.
Maybe they are. Maybe they're like watching you specifically. They're like, oh, this would be really funny. Watch his chat.
Yeah, like they just flip a switch. Like, okay, now he's gonna miss half the time, and he won't know why. His shots is
Yep.
gonna phase through the enemies half the time.
Oh my gosh. Have you gotten any of the new blueprints yet?
The new blueprints?
The new weapon blueprints
Oh
for
no,
Inazuma?
no. I'm a hoarder, and let me see how many catalysts I have. One moment. Gotta do some light flexing here. Wait, my catalyst. I think. Let me see. I honestly don't know. I don't think. I think I've made one weapon out of my. Okay, so I have. Okay, not a lot. I have 7. Okay, a lot. I have 7 great swords, 2 bows. Oh no, 7 swords, 2 bows, one great sword, 6 catalysts, and 3 spears. So yeah, haven't done much with them. I think I made 1 sword. So I got a lot of swords, but yeah, I have a lot of them.
I was gonna say, you should start grinding out those blueprints. Most of them are quest based, not all of them.
Oh damn, Hoyo. All right. I'll go work on it. I mean, look at me. Look at my resin. The whole stream, I've never opened the game once. So literally for 2 hours we've been sitting here. This has been full, and let me tell you, it's been full 4 hours before that as well. Since this morning.
Oh my god.
Yeah, yeah. This is why people watch me, man. They watch me to torment themselves.
I think it's masochism.
Yeah, it hurts so damn good, right? It just hurts so good. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's gonna be it. I'm gonna go. I don't know, man. I want Yoimiya to be good because I'm gonna be pulling for her personally. I'm not pulling for her. Okay, so are you pulling for her, and are you pulling for a weapon? And how far are you going? I remember you said C6R5. Was it not, Mr. Braxophone? Was it C6R5? But the new whale system though. Look, the new whale system. Oh, the select the
That'll save me a couple $100.
For sure.
Um,
All right. I mean, yeah. In the end, I think if you're spending that amount of cash on a character, I mean, not only are you gonna be, well, I mean, you haven't spent it yet, dude. You can still back out.
I can still back out.
Yeah, you can still be a C0. Hey, I mean, to be honest, it's a better clickbait. Audio?
Apparently they can't hear me anymore.
Oh, what? Wait.
No.
Oh, fuck. I changed scenes. Damn. All right, here we go. Now you're back.
Wait. Are we
Okay.
good? Okay.
Brax is back, chat. Brax is back. I changed scenes. So OBS is weird. All right. Okay, chat. I'm just going to fill it in. We're talking about dropping hard cash on Yoimiya. And Brax said, I remember he said before he's going to C6 R5, and now it's become what, like C4 R0
C4 R1, yeah. C4
I'm
R1.
toning it down. Okay. After we got to play her in the story, okay. not
The
not
bow
worth.
is not good. Like, the bow is good on her, but I was hoping that it would be best in slot on Child or something, and it's just a stat stick. Like, Skyward Harp ends up being better on Child, so, like, I don't really... There's no point in having the bow other than for you. So I'll pull one bow for her. If they end up buffing her, I'll go all in on it, probably. We'll have to see, though.
Yeah, understandable. Anyways,
Especially because, like, you know, Raiden probably next, and then, like, probably Kokomi as well. So we just need to be careful.
I'm probably gonna... I might get C1 Raiden and her weapon, maybe, but yeah, I'll have to see. It has to be motivated not just through the utility features, but also it has to look good. You know, Staff of Homa was super nice looking.
Right.
Yeah, this new sword was super nice looking. Like, the only time I've ever pulled on the weapon banner, like before this sword, was the Staff of Homa. So in between all the elegy weapons, I skipped all of them. But because this weapon looks so damn good, and it was really, really good as well, you know, stat wise, and it fit her really well. And a lot of other characters can use this weapon. So ended up grabbing it. I don't know about Bao's weapon, but if the next time I spend a little more on a banner, it's probably going to be for Bao. And yes, I am kind of a simp for these Archons, but who isn't? Who doesn't want Bao to kind of step up them a little bit? What?
I feel like most people want.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, I'm gonna end stream here soon. I think we pretty much touched on every topic, even like went on a couple tangents talking about, you know, certain features of the game. It was nice talk.
Yeah, it was fun. I was actually driving home, but I just put things on in the background to play on, like, Bluetooth, and so I put your stream on. And I was like, oh, this would be fun. And then you're like, hey, you want to come on? So I was like, okay, cool, 15 minutes. And Yeah, that's how I got here. I was on Gratis' stream earlier too, so I'm making guest appearances everywhere today.
Yo, keep going. I think there's gonna be people. You're not gonna be able to play the game.
Yeah, let me go invade some other people's streams too.
I was just saying, like, people spend more time and enjoy talking about the game than actual playing the game. And dude, that is so true. I love talking about Genshin. It's so damn.
I love just chatting Impact. It's my favorite.
Yeah, chatting Impact. Hey, I'm gonna use that for a future thumbnail. Just letting you know.
Good. Amazing. All right, man. Well, if you're gonna take off, I will catch you later as well. Have a good time wrapping up your stream, and we'll talk later.
Yeah, we'll talk for sure. I'll see you next time.
All right, see ya. Bye,
See ya.
chat.
All right, so chat, that was Mr. Braxophone. So, and hey, essentially we've reached the end of the live stream. Yeah, chatting Impact, really nice. I think Genshin Impact is a game that just provokes a lot of conversation, right? It sparks a lot of discussion, and I think that's good. I think that's good. All great games should be able to spark lengthy conversations. All right, so with that said, I think I'm gonna head out as well. It's been a good live stream. Next stream would be Saturday, but on Saturday I think I'm gonna move the stream either to the morning or earlier in the afternoon. Henoji777 says, just saw your vid on Yoimiya. Interesting to see how your realtor experience helped you theorize on miHoYo's marketing. Exactly. I've been talking about this a lot. I apply my realtor experience to my analysis for the game, its progression, and how miHoYo targets. And really, we see so many of these sales tactics targeted to people in the game. Literally, it's just like marketing 101, sales 101. And people fall for it. The reason they are tactics and they work and we use them on people is because it works. It works like most of the time. Of course, there are situations where people are resistant and they're resilient to these kind of business tactics, but they work. They work all the time, and it's so plentiful in Genshin Impact. I can't start to count the amount of tricks they use to manipulate the players. Most of the players that are manipulated are the younger audience who don't have that much buying power to begin with. So miHoYo is really just kind of squeezing pennies out of I almost said peasants, but they're not peasants. Pennies out of people who don't have much. Let's just put it like that. So with that said, we're gonna be heading out. I think we'll see you on the next live stream this Saturday, either in the morning time, so that's 12 hours earlier than now, or in the early afternoon, which is gonna be around 6 hours earlier from now. All right. So with that said, thank you guys for tuning in. We're gonna head out now, and look to see the new YouTube video that's gonna be uploaded tomorrow. Oh, by the way, I'm gonna go get my second vaccine shot tomorrow. That's going to be a lot of fun. Second vaccine shot. So I'm going to feel really, really weak. If the video doesn't come out on time, please be patient. Please. Hopefully I don't get too many side effects. So fingers crossed. Doing my part here. Doing my part. All right. Kids, peasants, same difference. Oh, I love you, chat. Never change. Never change. Till next time, stay safe. Peace. Bye-bye.